Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody doing? I hope you're doing amazing. So excited to be here. It's going to be an amazing show. We have someone very special. You probably have seen him before. I don't want to delay the start. So, my dear friend Junaid Iqbal is going to join me here right now. Let me move something out of the way. And I want to bring Junaid here because Junaid and I have been friends for many years. We met here on LinkedIn. There's a crazy story as to how we met for the first time. But he's one of the only two people in the entire platform who has actually met my family, my kids, even. So you have to be
I have
very
to meet them
special.
again. It's been way too long.
I know. You have to be pretty special, Janaya, to actually, be welcomed into someone's home, that you met online and meet their kids and even bring your sister, right?
Yeah. I got to see. It's been so long since I've been able to see it. Because thankfully, I got to see you. But
Yeah.
yeah, we'll make that happen sooner rather than later.
For sure, for sure. So Janai has come a few times from New York to Toronto, and Janai has helped a ton of people get back on their feet, switch jobs. He learned a lot of stuff. I've had the pleasure of being able to share everything that I know with Janayat, and we were
And I
like,
shared everything I know with you.
yeah,
And I think
100%. I appreciate your
we're
generosity.
always learning, right? I think that's the
Awesome.
beauty of it is that I share what I see because now I'm a recruiter at an AI company. So, I use LinkedIn Recruiter and I see a lot more and things are changing. So I'll let Brian know of, stats and then he'll share me stats. And I think that's the beauty of it. It's like, in the job market, you have to build relationships, stay in contact
Yeah.
because, a lot of it's trust. And, now I'm recruiting for some roles and then there are people who I built trust with. So they're like, hey, can you refer me? And I'm like, look, I'm the recruiter. Of course I can refer you. You have the right requirements and you fit, why wouldn't I?
Absolutely. So we're right now we're going through a lot, right? The world is going through a lot. A lot of people think that the job market is really bad. A lot of people think that the job search is broken, right? We hear these kinds of things all the time. Janaya, you hear these things too, where you are?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, people
What
say
do you
that.
think people, when they reach out to you and they say the job search is broken, what do you say?
Well, first I have to know what are you doing? And then oftentimes 95% of them are doing a lot of the wrong things, tailoring their resumes. Since this job, I've read like half a cover letter. I read like one 16th of one 16th. It's like, people waste their time on the wrong things and the right things set you apart. The right things make it easy.
Yeah.
Uh, and and if you're the right type of candidate, like it'll be a lot easier.
So can we go into that just for a moment at least?
Of course.
Cover letters. So Jonaya just mentioned he's read half a cover letter. Okay. Why is he bringing it up? Why Jonaya pointed out cover letters? Because a lot of people, what do? They
Right cover
waste their time.
letters.
They write cover letters. They love writing cover letters or leveraging ChatGPT to tailor their cover letters to every single job. Like
And what's crazy? I've seen people say that they get like 50 of the same cover letter because everyone's using ChatGPT and then it all sounds the same. And I tell people, okay, you're spending all this time tailoring for it not to, you don't even know if it's going to get seen. Why don't you message someone on the hiring team and send a personalized message? That has like 10 to 20, 30 times more chance of being seen.
Absolutely. And the interesting thing about this, and I discovered this a very long time ago, many years ago. Well, it seems like a very long time ago because I've been doing this for a bit. But employers actually tell you that they don't read cover letters. So Genited is on the employer side now and screening candidates and so on. But employers at large, they tell you that they don't read cover letters. And the funny, not funny really, the funny or the interesting thing about this is that they ask for cover letters. And even those who ask for cover letters don't read the cover letters. And
You
you're
know
like,
what's crazy?
what?
I saw a cover letter, someone just applied, and it was just a dash. And you know
Well,
what's crazy? I didn't
no,
care. I didn't care.
don't tell my secret.
No, this wasn't your secret. This was like
I know, no, no,
your
I'm just
secret
kidding.
is even
I'm just
better.
kidding. I'm happy that you share the script, but yes, that's one of the things that we actually tell people. Just apply with a cover letter that has nothing, like literally the word error, and just
Yeah.
apply because it's funny. Like you will still land the interview even without the cover letter if your resume
If the
speaks
resume
to
is
that.
good, look, here's the
Yeah.
reality. When I'm looking at the resume. Do they have the requirements? For example, I'm looking for in this role, it's like Python, TypeScript. Hey, what's up, Martin? TypeScript. And and even if they don't have TypeScript, because the hiring manager said, hey, if they have a good technical background, they can learn it. So I say, oh, at least if they have JavaScript, right? It's not far off. So it's one of those things that we look for. Hey, do you require? And then, I see average resumes, I see good resumes, and I see amazing resumes. And it's one of those things that, like, it all depends. Like if I don't get a lot of applications, you can get by with just an okay resume, a good resume. But when I get a lot of applications, then I'll do a short list. Then from there, I got to choose, right? They're going to say like, oh, I worked on a platform that served 10 million users. I was a founding engineer for this thing and we grew it from zero to thing, right? I want to see those details. You know how many times I come across and I screen people and I'm like, why wasn't that on your resume? Like, it's such a good story. It's so relevant. Why wasn't it on there? And so many candidates, like, they lose. And, the reality is, as a recruiter, my goal is to take the best out of them. Not all recruiters do that. Not all recruiters are there to advocate for you and all that. So you have to make sure you advocate for yourself.
Absolutely. Do you know, Jonayat, why I'm leaving this comment up here by any chance? Remember from the old times when we used to do this?
Yeah. I remember. Hold on. I actually got to go.
I know who it is. I know who it is because I just want to check. So it's Maximilian. I don't know if you know.
Oh, I had dinner with him the other week. So he lives by me. Yeah. And so, always, my thing is I'm always about building relationships. I met him years ago. We kept in touch. He shared a lot of insights with me. I share insights with him. And I think that's, again, I truly live by that.
I love it. So the reason why I am leaving this comment up here is because if you can notice, you see how there's no photo and you see how there's no name, right? So especially during this type of event where we're networking and just basically introducing ourselves, and you just never know who might actually see your value, whatever it is that you're saying, right? You want your information to show up, probably. I mean, if you're on LinkedIn, probably, and you're engaging, you want the information to show up. So the one thing that I want to encourage everyone is go to your LinkedIn settings. Okay, so go and click on your photo, and then go into settings, and make sure that you have all the settings right, so that whenever you are commenting on other people's posts or LinkedIn events, LinkedIn live events, or anywhere, that you actually show up and that people can see who you are. Because if they don't see who you are, they will probably not reach out to you. So chances are that you're commenting on someone's post that you're not connected with, and maybe your photo is not showing up, maybe your last name is not showing up, and then people are skeptical. I don't know who that person is, right? So check out your settings. Okay, Jonayat, any thoughts?
So first, we have Austin has a good comment. Most people spend months optimize something that's already working instead of fixing what's actually broken. And I see this all the time. Their resume is good, and they're just trying to, I spearheaded, I directed, it's like at the end of the day, no one cares. Like, whether you do that, very little impact, on the actual thing. But you have to focus on, hey, the weak points. And then, we have Daniel commenting. It's funny, Daniel and I went to high school together.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
you stay in touch
quite often? A LinkedIn setting. Check your LinkedIn settings and adjust it. Because this is a LinkedIn, because on LinkedIn I see it, but on StreamYard it's a different thing and all that. But I went to high school with him, and then we have to meet in person recently. But we keep in contact and just always sharing things.
Love it. So what else? Cover letters. Okay, cover letters, we can say that they are a waste, right? Like we should, not we. I'm not looking for a job.
Look, again, if you want to write one so badly, go do
don't.
The extra effort.
No, if you want to write one so badly, don't.
No. If you really have to, go find the person and send them an email direct. That is where it actually makes sense, and that is what will set you apart. Do not go to the recruiter. You got to go straight to the hiring person and send them. And if you're going to do it, you know what the sad thing is?
What?
I'm not a big fan of recruiters, right? Because I talk to
who is
even recruiters hate recruiters. And it's crazy. They posted a job at my company on Friday. I had 2 people reach out. 2 different roles, 2 people reach out. So I said, hey, look, you have a good background. Let me screen you. And she said, she does that for every role. And I'm the only recruiter that ever answered. Like, literally, it's my job. Like, you're making my job easy. Instead of me going on and finding someone, you made it easy. You reached out. Why wouldn't I talk to you if you meet the backgrounds? So it's one of those things. Like, you have to, and this is directed messages. So think about cover letters.
There's some really good people out there, just like anything. There are some really good people who take a lot of pride in the work that they do and how they do things and how they build meaningful relationships and how they treat others with kindness and dignity and respect and appreciation and patience and genuine interest and so on and so forth. But the reality is that we live in a world that is moving so fast. It's spinning so fast that most people, they don't have attention span, or they don't want to have attention span, and they commoditize you, right? Like, especially when you see a job. And so let's dive into this, Janayat.
Yeah.
When you see a job posting that has 500, 600 applicants, right? A few things about this. Do you really believe that a recruiter, that an employer, so HR professional, that a hiring manager will go through 500 to 600
Look,
applicants?
anybody who says I look at every application, liar. They're pure, unless you're working on one job. It's so hard. It takes me, even if I did like 5
even seconds, if that was your only task of the entire month, you would not go through 500 to 600 applicants. There's no way.
There's no way. There's really legitimately no way. And I'm still making my way through it.
So here's the thing. So I just love when people start to understand that the whole system is rigged against them. So you need to understand the rules. If you don't understand the rules, you're going to hope and pray and guess with every single job application. I was just talking to someone, I won't say the name, but very nice professional. And she was telling me that she's been applying for jobs for the last 2.5 months.
Oh, I thought I was doing 2.5 years.
Well, those I also talk to all the time, but this one was only 2.5 months. Okay. But here's where it gets interesting. She's only landed 2 interviews.
I mean, honestly, that's still better than what I hear.
But wait, 2 interviews in 2.5 months with 250 to 300 applications.
That's too low.
So you're having 1% conversion. Is it good enough? No, not at all. Could you have landed more? Sure. Now the big question is, should you have landed more? Yes. Now, what happened also with those interviews that you did land? Where did they go? Because you didn't convert them into job offers. So when you did have a chance, what happened? So the interesting thing about, and this is what I'd like to help everybody change the mindset about when you're trying to switch jobs. Time, as we know, time is money. So when you're trying to fix the problem by yourself, and you don't ask for guidance, and you keep on trying to fix things, right? I looked at her resume, and it was terrible. Like, this is not for America. This resume is for, I'm not going to say the country that I love, very, very far, but it's not for America. So if you're applying with a resume that cannot even get through the system, through the hiring software, I'm not sure how she landed those 2 interviews. Maybe it was a favor. Maybe it was someone who felt bad. I don't understand.
There's always a chance.
There's a chance, right? But you want to maximize your chances, right?
Yep. Exactly.
So why? I mean, the interesting thing about job switching is that most people think that they can figure it out by themselves. And the reality is that they can. Eventually, right? We can all figure things out by ourselves. But if you had a pain in your tooth.
Well, no, actually, I'm going to disagree with you.
Tell me. Well, okay.
You know why? Because here's the reality.
What's the reality?
Think about how many things you've learned by helping other people.
Right.
You've seen so much more, because look, how many jobs do you apply to?
I want to give them a benefit of the doubt. You're not helping.
No benefit. Look, I keep it real. No benefit of the doubt. The reality is, if you talk to enough people and you keep going out there, like, you and I have spent thousands and thousands of hours, right? Yeah. Can someone get decent? Sure, I come across people with decent resume, but the fact is, every day I'm learning something new. Right? By being on both sides, by seeing this, by seeing that, by talking to hiring managers, by seeing the actual processes, by trying new things, by reading things and all that. Like, unless you're literally dedicating 40 hours a week, and the fact is that a good use of your time, or should you upskill in your area? Think about it. Should you spend 40 hours a week for 3 months learning how to job search so you can help yourself? Or should you spend 40 hours a week, you spend half the time upskilling yourself to make yourself more marketable,
Yeah.
and then talk to other people who have, spent thousands of hours and get it condensed?
And you know, the interesting thing that people don't realize is that, again, time is money. And if you recognize that you should be paid significantly higher, in this particular case, about $8,500 that she's leaving behind every single month. Okay.
Yeah.
Every single month that you are looking to switch jobs, since the moment that you realize that you are being underpaid, right? And that you decide to take action, every single day and every single month that you are not figuring this out, it's still a lot of money. So in 2.5 months, she's left behind $20,000. I don't know for anybody out there watching, but for me, $20,000 is a lot of money that I shouldn't have left behind.
Yeah.
So why, instead of trying to figure things out, you can learn this later. But in the meantime, get someone to give you the recipe and tell you exactly, okay, you need to fix this, you need to fix this, or someone to do it for you. Let me do this for you, and let me do this. Now, be careful, right? A lot of people claim to know what they're talking about, and they have no idea. So always do your
Especially
research.
recruiters. Oh my God. Recruiters sometimes give the worst advice.
Terrible. So I just love when people, they take action and they do something, but taking action is not necessarily pulling your sleeves up and trying to do it yourself. I mean, if I had a toothache, can I remove my teeth? I'm sure that if I go and grab a tool from my toolbox, I can just yank it and just pull my tooth. But I'm probably going to get it infected. It's going to hurt a lot more, and so on. So why instead I not go to the dentist? But why with switching jobs, everybody thinks that they can do it by themselves?
No, well, it's just,
Tell me.
again,
You have the answer?
I don't. I don't get these people. Because look, for me, if I have access to an expert, I'm gonna go ask them.
Yeah, absolutely.
It just, you'll save years. Because I know people who spend years just researching. It's like spend 1 or 2 hours with an expert. Cool. Now you can still do research, but now you have a frame, you have a foundation of doing the right things. You know what to spend your time on, what to not. And then Jasmeet says something interesting. If a resume was a video instead of a document, you feel you would have way more luck in finding a job. And here's the reality. You have to think about the other side. Imagine I get 500 applications and there are 500 videos, 2 to 3 minutes. You really, like, if I have trouble going through all those applications, you really think I'm gonna go through videos? And people underestimate how hard a video is compared to a document. Video is way hard.
But there's something interesting. Jasmeet is super nice. Okay, I've spoken to her in the past.
Yeah.
Super nice. Here's the interesting thing for you, Jasmeet. If you have understood that about yourself, that you feel really comfortable with this, keep it quiet. Like you don't want this to become the standard. Keep it quiet. Like just go and do things differently so that you can stand out. And basically on LinkedIn, you can send someone a connection request, you can send a DM, you can send an audio note, you can send a video if you want. So you have ways to stand out. And if you have found your thing, your superpower, you feel really comfortable on video, go and do it.
Yeah.
Right? Like don't expect everybody to start accepting videos, but go and force yourself through. Basically, stand out from everyone else. If everybody else is applying with a resume, make sure that your resume is also readable by the hiring software. Make sure that it is up to par. And if you think that your personality is going to help you stand out, which you have an amazing personality, leverage video as well. Do more than the average person, and do different, but not just more for the sake of doing more. Okay. If you're applying to, like I was mentioning before, 250, 300 applications, and it's not yielding any results, you have to realize math doesn't lie, right? 250 to 300 applications, 1-2 interviews, something is not working. Change your approach. But every single day is money. Yeah. Junaid, what else?
Yeah. I think if you know your strengths, you know you're good on video, go send someone a video message. Mm-hmm. Go meet people in person. Mm-hmm. Use that. If you're lighting up every room, go light up rooms in your city.
Yeah. But here's the thing. And this is one of the best pieces of advice that I believe I've given people over the years. Time box your efforts. So It's okay to want to give it a shot for a certain amount of time, but you have to recognize that time is money. So how long are you going to give yourself to be able to actually accomplish whatever it is that you're looking to accomplish, as long as it's really important to you, right? You're trying to accomplish something, whatever it is, switch jobs, lose weight, whatever it is that you're looking to accomplish. You say, well, the amount of time that I'm going to give to this for myself to figure it out is this. And if I cannot figure it out in that amount of time, then I need to clearly go to someone else who can actually guide me. Because one of the biggest fallacies that I've seen over the years is that people think that just because it's taken so long for them, that the job must just be around the corner. But I'm so close. Well, clearly it's been.
You're always going to be close.
No, it feels
that's
like
what it always
it's
feels
a
like.
coping mechanism. It's a coping.
Yep.
You believe you want to protect yourself, and I don't blame you for it. But it's just a fallacy. You're believing that to help yourself, but you're not necessarily closer. This is like me pushing against my wall behind here in the back of my office, trying to make my office space larger. I mean, I can push against it lean against it all I want for a day, for a week, for a month, for a year, for a decade, for a century. That wall is not going to move. Instead, I need to be smart and recognize the Home Depot is just 5 minutes away. I can go and either rent or buy the right tools, learn how to use them safely, and then do it. Or alternatively, I can just call a handyman or 2 or 3 or 4 and be like, hey, how much do you guys charge me for this? And use the right person.
Yeah.
So don't think that you have to figure everything out yourself. In some cases, it's not the right thing.
I want to give some feedback to Jasmeet. So Jasmeet, on your page, on your LinkedIn page, you had a job, and that was the only job you had at that time. And you mentioned that you're part-time. Just don't mention that you're part-time. There's no reason to fill out that field.
Mm-hmm.
Like, look, your LinkedIn is a highlight, and it's to sell yourself. You don't want to show anything that may be perceived. Oh, you have this place for 7 months. It's part-time. It's, just own your experience. So I personally would remove that. You don't need to tell people you're part-time.
And since we're going through, I guess, Jasmeet's profile, and if anybody else wants us to go through your profiles as well, let us know. What else? Why don't we go from top to that's great feedback, by the way, Junaid. What else? Going from top to bottom on Jasmeet's profile. I hope that this is good for you. Okay. What else?
So in LinkedIn Recruiter, I see your headline. So you have director of client partnerships. Mm-hmm. Usually I tell people put it at a company because they don't know if you're a consultant, you don't know that. So they want, that way you could put a company. Mm-hmm. And it looks like you have some, let me see. You have, you worked at Rogers, so you could say like ex-Rogers. Sometimes recruiters look for big companies, it's, again, sometimes when we present to hiring managers, they want to see certain things. I think, you put director of client partnerships, put some keywords, like what is a recruiter going to search? Maybe, maybe something like sales, maybe put like the industries. The best thing to do is whatever jobs you're going for, look at what the words are and think about put yourself into the shoes of the recruiter. How are they going to find you? And then Jasmeet says,
so
most of them are bots. Okay. So I'm going to counter this. So many applicants, most of them are bots. Okay. If they're bots, then you're not competing with them. They're not real. Mm-hmm. People are applying while they sleep. It's, first of all, most jobs are not getting thousands. They're getting a lot. And let me tell you, a lot of people who apply to jobs, if you're getting AI to apply for you, cool, nothing wrong with that. But AI does not always apply to jobs you're perfectly qualified for. I'm going to tell you something. My friend, recruiter, he was recruiting for a project manager. He had 297 applications. 0 were qualified before AI. Because he was looking for a construction project manager, he had all IT project managers apply. So don't think you're competing with thousands of qualified people that you're actually having to go against. You may only be going against 10, 20. There's so many people who are applying, they're outside the country. They don't meet the visa requirements and all that. So, and it is a search engine looking for keywords. And anyone, and I totally agree. I know what I bring. So if you know what you bring to the table, the resume is a sales document. Sell it. Sell yourself. Like, think about it. You're an account exec and you have a product. You're a salesperson. That's a sales document. And if you think you're hidden and unseen, do the things to make sure you are seen. Because if you have the talent, you can get seen. Mm-hmm. Yes, a lot of them don't, and first of all, it's not bots. you are overestimating. There were jobs posted on Friday. I only had one person reach out for every job. A lot of people don't check, but you're an account exec. You sold before. You sold. It's way harder to sell than it is to get a job. You're dealing with people who are dealing with spam, email things. So if you know how to do that, change your mindset. The product and service you're selling is yourself. Put yourself in the customer's shoes, understand what they're going through, and figure out how to reach them.
Yeah. I'll tell you something else. And Junaid, you don't have the privilege to have access to this information that I'm going to share, but so Jasmeet was kind enough to share with me her resume.
Yeah.
One of the things that we see all the time is that resumes, I mean, she mentioned that she's been applying for a lot of jobs. So I imagine she has a lot of versions of her resume. I mean, she shared this earlier.
Yeah.
So, but the interesting thing about this is that her LinkedIn profile doesn't match her resume.
That's also a big thing, because if I'm seeing someone and I look at their LinkedIn profile, I was like, oh, you said you're this. Okay, if you're a project manager, you say program, it's not the end of the world. But if I see project and then you say you're solution engineer, then you see that, people get confused, right? And the other thing is when you have that many versions and you're putting your efforts into a lot of things, now you're not focused. I tell people you can go for several different roles, but the roles have to be interlinked. You can't go for, I'm going for account exec, I'm going for client partnerships, I'm going for project management, I'm going for program manager, I'm going for product. You are sending mixed signals. And the thing is, if you're trying to send messages for everything, your message will resonate with nothing.
Absolutely. And you know what? Sorry, go ahead. And then
the other thing is the strategy for each is slightly different. The preparation for your interviews is slightly different. Who you approach is slightly different. So now you're splitting your effort across 3, 4, 5 different roles. Whereas like if you keep focused, even your networking isn't focused because you're talking to people and you're telling them multiple different things. They're not remembering you for what you want them to remember you for.
Yeah. And here's one more thing. If you want to think about it or look at it from a different lens, there's no chance in the world that you are equally as excited about role A or B or C or D. There's no way. There has to be one of these roles that you're more excited about, that brings you the most happiness, joy, excitement, fulfillment, financial wealth. So why are you applying to all this? And I do understand, of course. Well, I started applying for the one that I really wanted. And then because they were not replying to me, they were not, selecting me for interviews, then I widened my net, right? I have a wider net. And they were not calling me, so I widened my net again, cast a wider net. And again, I kept on doing that. And now I'm applying to 4 or 5 different roles. But here's the thing. That doesn't actually solve the problem, because for different reasons. First of all, what Janaya was mentioning, you're now not laser focused. You know that you wanted that role, but now you're applying to all this. You're confusing employers. You're confusing yourself. You're all over the place. So you don't have a story. You're all over the place. So you don't even know what you applied for anymore. And second, once you do get a job, if you do get a job, then you will have to start all over again, because you will not be happy, because you will be doing something that doesn't know what you wanted to do to begin with. So why not step back and let's understand what is preventing you from actually getting the job that you actually want, assuming that you're qualified, right? I wanted to be an astronaut, but if I'm not qualified to be an astronaut, I'm not going to become an astronaut, no matter how badly I want it. But have clarity in terms of what it is that you want to do, and then have clarity in terms of how to get there. Understand how to land the interviews, how to convert them into job offers, how to negotiate and obtain your desired job conditions. It's not rocket science, but it is far more complex than people assume it is. It's not just like, oh, I get a resume and then I will land the interviews. It is far more complex. And Jasmeet, for you, what I mentioned earlier, I have this event that I'm doing in 26 minutes, and I will be logging off in just a few minutes just to prepare for that, just to give people as much value as possible. This is the event, by the way, for you, Jasmeet, if you want to join. Jonah, do you think that she should join this event? What do you think?
So. Yeah, I think, look, a lot of times
it's insane.
Here's what I tell people in job seeking. You can be working the hardest, but if you're not doing the right things, you will not get anywhere. So winner takes all.
Yeah.
You don't get anything for being second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. It's winner takes all, first place.
Yeah.
So you feel like, hey, and a lot of times you people will say, oh, it's this, it's bots, it's this and that. Sure, does to a certain extent, but the reality is people do get jobs. It may be harder in certain industries, it may be harder during certain times, but I see people getting offers. I deal with clients, who get offers. It's still feasible. And then someone asked, now look, someone asked,
who? Sri Krishna or somebody else?
Yeah. And I think also if you have good relationships, so one person said they are looking for a job, and I believe he mentioned he's a U.S. citizen.
This one over here.
Yeah, hold on. U.S. citizen from India. Now, here's what I'm going to tell you. A lot of companies do not sponsor. So if I look at your profile and be like, oh, India, hey, I don't want to call you and then find out I have to sponsor. I have to use my email. I have to use my credit and then find out. So you should put that you're a citizen. And then the other thing is, I may assume that you're not looking for a job in the U.S. You're in India for your reason, right?
Yeah.
Then you put that you're a caregiver. I don't know. You put present now, so you're still a caregiver. So it's like, can you have a job? Like, and all that. So these are things you have to be really mindful of.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, you don't have to put a 5-month career break. Like, like you put caregiving twice. So it's like, is it a recurring thing? Like, are you going to have to, you have to really think that a lot of companies that are in hiring is risk management.
Mm-hmm.
And they choose safer candidates. So give them info that helps you, because now you have 10 experiences, but I can only see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 2 of them are caregiving. So that means 40% of the opportunities on your LinkedIn profile, without me clicking 10 experiences, are caregiving. Mm-hmm. And then you put your high school. Okay, like, I don't need to know your high school. So automatically it's like you're making me do so much effort. I see a university outside the US, whereas if I saw the university in the US, okay, I'm more likely to do that. Now you have great experience, product architect, VP consumer banking, digital transformation leader. You have some info. I think you can put more info because it's just like one paragraph. Let me see, show all experiences.
By the way, for those of you just tuning in, we are reviewing someone's profile, okay, and giving feedback on this one profile, okay.
Yeah, and then also sometimes you don't need to go all the way back. If BEA Systems is like in 2000, you may not need to put it. I mean, Wells Fargo is good, Time Warner is good, but no one's gonna be like, oh my God, he did developer relations 22 years ago. I'm gonna call him right now. They really focus on the last few. Also, in general, I tell people to type out their titles instead of writing SR dot, because that means I have to search up. I may search up the word senior. You have, okay, this is kind of crazy. 65 licenses and certifications. Let's see this.
That's even Anthony doesn't have that many licenses or certifications, and he's the person that I know who has the most in the entire world.
Yeah, I think some of them are helpful, but I think at some point it has to also make sense, because what are you trying to get a job in? It looks like a lot of generative AI. So,
okay. Wait, you know what you could actually do if you really wanted to land more interviews, if you wanted to get through the systems. So one of the things that I wanted to add about Just Meet. So I saw that, I believe that she has 32 skills, right, on her profile. It's hard to believe that someone with that much experience only has 32 skills.
Yep.
But here's like a website. Let me give you an analogy. This is like a website sitting on the internet that has no content. Do you think that Google or Yahoo or Bing is going to find it? No, it's not going to find it. Why? Because it has no keywords, right? So the big question is, your resume might have all the keywords, although Just Meet, I can give you so much more feedback. Like, have you seen? So, Junai, let me ask you a question. How long should bullet points be? One line, maybe 2 lines maximum, right? So some of Just Meet's bullet points are like 5 lines long, Okay, like
Nah, I
is
ain't
it a
reading
bullet
that.
point or is it a paragraph? Because it's a different concept. But hear me out. Let's assume that you do have all the keywords on your resume, and that they are the right keywords, which they may not be. Okay, most people actually, they share whatever it is that comes to mind. Oh, I feel so proud of this. Who cares what you feel proud of? What you should be sharing is what the employers want to read.
People always say, I like this, I like that. And I was like, okay, what is gonna get you noticed? Like, just because I love a line, if my customer doesn't like it, it doesn't matter.
This is communication 101, right? Like, you need to know what the recipient wants to read or hear or see in you for them to be interested in you. If you're saying whatever it is that you want to say without acknowledging that, oh, that's what they actually want to see on my resume, what the market is looking for, then you're going to get nowhere. So, but forget about the resume for a moment. The truth is, LinkedIn doesn't really care about the resume. If it was up to LinkedIn, they would have already killed the resume.
Yeah.
Like, they don't care. So what does LinkedIn care? So that's why you need to start challenging and questioning every single aspect of the hiring process, the switching job process. What does LinkedIn care about? They care about your profile. So the big question is your profile properly configured? And is it aligned with your resume? If it is not, if you're missing all these keywords on your actual profile, you're not going to get anywhere. You're just going to be applying, and then you're going to be put on the side on a list that nobody pays attention to. Like, think about it for a moment. Employers pay LinkedIn a lot of money to post a lot of jobs. Okay, lots and lots of money. But why? Yes, LinkedIn does have the source of, the pool of talent. But besides that, they have some intelligence behind it. So they are able to say, okay, these applicants are really good. We're going to put them on this list. And all these other applicants, they're not good. They're not relevant. So we're going to put them over there. Don't pay attention to them. So if your LinkedIn profile doesn't actually have what the job posting is looking for, when LinkedIn does the match, you're going to be ignored. So if you've applied to 250 to 300 jobs with the wrong resume format, with the wrong LinkedIn profile, you're not going to get anywhere. You need to fix absolutely everything. It's not like you can fix, I'm going to just keep on changing my resume. Well, for all you know, your LinkedIn profile might still be wrong, poorly configured. So you have to fix your resume and your LinkedIn profile. Imagine, I'm going to fix my engine, okay? My Ferrari, okay? So just meet, you're a Ferrari, okay? And you're working on your engine. But you failed to realize that your fuel tank has a leak. So you're not going to go anywhere. So you need to recognize that you're not a mechanic. You need to bring the car to a mechanic and then for someone to actually fix it. Okay?
Yeah, I think she asked how many pages. 1 to 3. 90% of my resume.
Not more than 3. For sure, not more than 3. If you can keep it to 2, amazing.
Yeah, 2. 95% of my resume, 98, 99 are within 2 pages.
Same. I can count with
one guy I did for 3.
Yeah.
The person I did who was 3, she turned down a $5 million offer.
Mm-hmm.
So it was crazy level experience. And then the other guy, he worked on Star Wars in the 80s as an intern. That was the guy who had 3. So just realize, here's the reality. It's you go put on your sales hat. That's like asking how long should a cold email be?
You know what?
Get the attention.
You know what I'd love to hear tonight from Just Meet and from everybody else watching this. If you've been looking to switch jobs, I would love to hear and put it in writing and stand behind whatever it is that you write. How long or how much longer you're going to give yourself to keep on trying without seeking actual guidance from someone who can take you from point A to point B. How much longer? So Just Meet, it's been 2.5 months. How much longer? Is it going to be another 2.5 months? Only you know what you're okay with. You can say 3 years. Okay, by all means. If you don't like money, sure. You don't like to work, sure. Take 3 years if you want. But put a number, put a date, and say by this date I better have a job. Yeah.
There's someone who messages me.
Yeah.
As an open work banner. Met me. I must have met him 2 years ago or something.
Okay.
Still looking for a job. By himself. Developer. Think about it. A developer with lots of experience. I
have a developer that has not even applied for jobs. Okay. We just did his resume, his LinkedIn profile. He never even got to finish everything that we wanted to teach him. He already landed multiple interviews, multiple job offers. He's never even applied to any single job. Just by having the right resume, and the right LinkedIn profile with contents that align with a resume and properly configured, if you do that and there's demand for your job, they will start reaching out to you.
Yeah, and every day, like he'll reach out to me once in a while, ask me for market insights. Hey, when's the market getting better? I was like, yo.
And did you share about the open to work to remove it?
Look,
Or
he didn't ask me for feedback, so I didn't give it to him.
Okay.
Just ask me for market insights. And I'm like, okay, you do you. Because if I were evaluating and I had an open to work banner for 2 years and I did not get a job, my conclusion is this doesn't work and I'm doing something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter how much insight I get. If I don't change my action or approach, I'm going to get the same result.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You can't. People say, when's the market getting better? You can't control that. You can only control what you do. And regardless of whether a good market or bad market, you have to get a job. And there's right strategies work in both those scenarios.
Mm-hmm. What would you say to just meet customer experience or customers? You see, we go back to the same problem, right? Customer experience or customer success. Is it the same role? Well, I don't know, maybe
Very similar.
Similar, okay. And
Yeah.
trust me, I won't help, but not sure where to get started and how.
I think go to the event that Brian has.
It's crazy. But I spoke to her on the phone. Like I called her like 3 times before because I was like, I looked at her resume and I was like, this is crap. Oh my god, I need to give her feedback. So she stops applying with it. Anyway, finally we connected earlier today. I was like, oh my god, do you really want help? You know how to actually start. Like start tonight. Starting like what do you have going on? In 14 minutes, we're starting with this. Just go there. So in probably 4 minutes, I'm going to just log off from here. I appreciate Jonayat. He came and to vouch for me, and I mean,
always
we've been doing things together for so many years.
It's like 5 years now, dude. No, dude, it's 2019. We're hitting
2019.
6 years.
At what time did we connect? At like 2 in the
Summer.
morning. But at like
at 2 in the morning. Yeah, it was like
2 in the morning. So Jonayat, a funny story is that Jonayat was pinging me. Hey, can we connect or something? I was super busy, growing, and a lot of people just message you but they're not serious about this. They're just wasting people's time, right? And Jonayat messaged me at like 2 in the morning, and I was like, okay, I'm awake. Do you want to connect now? And he was like, yes. And he's a night owl like I am, so we connected at 2 in the morning. I shared everything that I knew, and friendship.
I'm not. I can't be a night owl anymore.
No, because of your job.
I gotta be up at. I gotta start at 9. So
I'm so proud of you, Jonayat.
Yeah,
I'm so proud. Are you proud?
No, I'm not proud.
You're not proud. You want to just be.
But no, but thankfully I like the job. I like the thing. I like the role. So it gets me going. But
yeah.
And since I'm, I'm very remote, so that helps. And I take naps after work and all that stuff. And I got my health in order, so I have a lot more energy than before.
Do you remember by any chance who taught you anything about resumes?
What's funny? Was Oleg ever posting about the ATS?
Yeah.
Oleg, I know Oleg posted. Kirsty Bonner used to post. Yeah. So here's the thing. I knew a little about resumes. And then people talk about the ATS and how I learned was bits and pieces. You would post these little things and you helped me a lot. And then, then I put it together and then I did it. A lot was credit to you. And then it's actually doing it, testing.
Yeah.
And then
keep on learning and keep on. The more people you help, the more you know how it works. The more you know how, what stopped working, what is new that works now. So things keep on changing. So whatever it is that you knew 5 years ago, it's not necessarily true anymore.
Yeah. And then using different ATSs, I've used like a JobVite, I've used like a Greenhouse. So I see and even I see the little things. So now I know where recruiters can mess up, like how those little things work. And so now I think once you understand the other side, it's so much easier to do the right things.
Absolutely. So super happy. So Jonayat, as you know, over the last 8-9 months, we've been working on this event that is starting in just a few minutes. For anyone who is really struggling, if you're like, hey, I don't know where to start, like just meet. someone who's like, no, I'm very serious about this. I want to really start to land interviews. I want to receive job offers. I want to negotiate. I want to switch jobs from the ultimate position of power. If you've never been in that situation where you have multiple job offers to choose from, you have no idea what you're missing. It's huge, right? One thing is to just have to accept one job offer and be like, okay, I guess I'm going to take it, right? And then you get an extra 5% or 10% or 20%. And it's not just about the money. It's about the overall job conditions, right? The work-life balance, the respect, the dignity, the appreciation, the title, the responsibilities, the challenge, the work environment, the flexibility to be able to be there. I mean, if you have a family, if you have kids, to be there for them, to be able to work remote. There's just so much behind the right job conditions. So only you know what your desired job conditions are. But here's the thing. You can only get those job conditions and exercise them and maximize them when you have multiple options, when you really are in the ultimate position of power. So that's why we created this event. We've been working on this for the last 8-9 months. I've been doing this for 7 years, and for the last 5 years, we've mastered this system, this framework on how to switch jobs. And over the last 8-9 months, we were like, you know what, we want to make sure that everybody has access to be able to learn, to be able to understand what it is that they need to do differently, to be able to switch jobs fast. Like switching jobs should not take 2.5 months. It should not take a year or 18 months. Like a lot of people reach out to us like, oh my God, I've been thinking about this or struggling with this for so long. Why? I mean, it doesn't take that long to switch jobs if you know what you're doing. Just like it doesn't take long to build a Lego set if you have a manual, or an IKEA furniture if you have the manual. If you have the manual, you can do it. If you don't have the manual, good luck assembling a 1,000-piece Lego set. It's going to be pretty much impossible. Okay. So anyway, Junaid, anything else that you see people struggle with? Anything else that you want to share with people?
No, we'd have to go like 2 more hours.
remember when we wanted to do 4 hours? No, sorry, we wanted to do 24 hours and we were cut off at the 4-hour mark. Do you remember that one?
Yeah. I remember. It's
so
fun times.
Yeah, so we did that. Then with Janaya and I, we had a record. We did it. I was on an airplane, so I'm so far as we know, the only person that has done this on an airplane, LinkedIn Live from an airplane, until the flight attendant came to me and she was like, "Sir, you cannot be live streaming from an airplane." I was like, "I'm sorry." Everybody was trying to sleep, and I had my little light, like putting light on me, and Junaid was on the other side. So we've done this thousands of times, and I appreciate you so much, your friendship and your wisdom and everything that you share with me, and I love sharing with you, Junaid. So you're amazing.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. So we got to catch up.
Of course,
I'm learning more and more now, being on the other side.
Yeah,
appreciate all you who came through. Jasmine, thank you for sharing your experiences, asking questions, and you just, if you have that issue, other people have it too. So enjoy, keep in touch. Feel free to send me a connect, send a personalized invite so I know you came to this event. And go to Switch Jobs now.
Go to Switch Jobs now. Like, seriously, it's going to blow your mind. Oh my God, like what people struggle with. Once you realize, oh, there are some rules to this game. Once you realize that there's, just like any game, whether it's soccer or cricket or chess, there are rules. You learn the rules, you can beat the competition. Basically, you're competing. This is a game. So learn the rules of the game. You're going to be able to switch jobs. Okay. So I'll see you on the other side. Okay. Thanks, Junaid. I appreciate you so much. Cheers.